So today, the topic, I've kind of put this as a part one. I have no idea how many parts is going to be in. I had to take out so much. And if you had paid any attention to the Practice Pods page yesterday, I kept changing the title of today's session because I was reducing all I was putting into, because I didn't want it to be an information overload for today. But it's all under the umbrella of leadership skills for business. And for me in particular, the subject of leadership is so critical. It doesn't matter whether it's at home or in the business, or whether it's an NGO or a charity or whatever it is, the skills of a leader are so crucial to the success of any enterprise. And I kind of want to start this journey on leadership, focusing on the skills of a leader. And today I'm really going to just touch on what are the must-have skills a leader should have. But before I jump into that, let me just quickly ask you a question. How would you define a leader, just in your own lay terms? How would you define a leader? Who wants to go first?
I would define a leader as someone that motivates people to follow them in a set of processes and procedures and lifestyles that the people had voted for and approved.
Okay, that's a very good. You have a couple of the key words there. That's good. Anybody else who's got a definition of a leader? Who is a leader to you?
Somebody who inspires me.
Somebody who inspires. Great, that's a good one. That's a good one. Anna, what about you? Who's a leader?
For me, a leader is also someone who listens to you and gives you possibilities of growth and supports you and just leads you in a, let's say, decisional manner, but is also willing to, let's say, come down to your level.
Good. You've thrown a lot of keywords there. You said lead, support, direct. Those are great words, and that we're going to look into a little bit further. Stan, do you have any insight you want to throw in? You're mute, by the way.
Sorry. I would have said someone who motivates and manages tasks, projects, and people.
Motivates, task, projects, and people. Great addition. Well, one great thing about today is you all have a very good idea as to what a leader is. So I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. If you bring all of that together, that gives you a good description of what a leader is about. The focus isn't today on leadership, but on the skills required for leadership. But before I jump into that, let me just talk about basically summarize everything you said. I've got a definition. A leader is someone who provides guidance, they inspire and motivate others. Now, this is quite crucial. One of the things in my life as a salesperson, I'll never forget somebody telling me, because when you're talking about inspiring and motivating others, that's not just talking about your own employees or colleagues. It can also relate to other stakeholders, clients, suppliers, whatever. And somebody once said to me that customers buy, oh no, what's the term? Oh, I've forgotten it now. A client will buy you before they buy what you have to sell. And that's all about the inspiration and motivation element of leadership that is required, especially if you're going to be in any form of a business. You've got to be able to inspire them. They set the direction and maximize effort to achieve the desired goals. Now, leaders can be seen in all shapes and form. It's not just the guy at the top that's a leader, but they're all types of leaders. I've picked out a few words that are generally associated with a leader, from chairman or owner, CEO to managing director, VP. head of department, chief operating officer, chief technology officer, principal, partner, manager. All of this in one shape or the other are all leaders. And in organization, if you only have one leader and you've got about 100 people, then you are in trouble. You've got to be able to raise leaders to help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve. But we're not talking about leadership today. We're talking about skills leaders must have. So let me come back to you again. So can you, in 1 or 2 words, tell me some of the skills you feel a good leader must certainly have to be able to lead their business to achieve its goal? So just throw words at me, 1 or 2 things you feel leaders must have in terms of skills.
Making
Communication.
decisions. Oops.
Oh, communication. That's a really good one. That's a good one. Anybody else? Any skill you feel a leader must have? This is a must.
Making decisions.
Decision making. Great. That's an excellent one. We're going to touch about those 2. Any others? It must-
Negotiating as well, because to enroll people and to take them on board, you need to be able to negotiate the way they work.
Yeah.
So
A leader must be a good negotiator. Please make this down, because we're going to have conversations later on about some of these skills and measure ourselves as to how good we are when it comes to those skills. So we've got communication, decision-making, negotiation. Any other one? Just one.
Persuasion. Persuasion.
Persuasion. Oh, especially if you're going to inspire people. They've got to be able to believe in you. So those are all excellent skills that a leader must have. So, but today, I'm just going to touch on 5. I mean, you could really draw a long list of the skills a leader must have, but I'm just going to touch on 5 must-have skills a leader must have. One of the first ones for me is the ability to set goals. Now, you would think, this is common. Everybody should be able to do this. This is a lot harder. And you'll be shocked how many, especially small businesses, lose sight of these very important skills. And that is goal setting, because goal setting does a number of things for you. It lets everybody knows the direction you as a leader are going, the steps you're going to get there, how you're going to assess the performance and the efficiency of what it is that you're trying to do. You know, if people are following you, they need to know where you are going. If they don't know where you're going, what you'll find is people will begin to do different things. I did a program last year and probably 2021 on how to create your coaching program. And one of the challenges in that program was that people had was actually defining what it is they want their program to achieve. Because if you've got a topic, you'll kind of think, oh, that's easy. Yes, I've got a topic. But what do you want that topic or that program to actually achieve for the people you want to sign up to? And you will find that people will change their mind here and there. And it was okay. I think I did that program like 3 times. And I remember in one of those times, it took us 6 weeks before people were finally able to say, yes, this is what I want to achieve with my program. So the ability to set goals is absolutely crucial if you're going to be successful as a leader. And it's a skill. And it's not just setting it. It's not just getting a list of papers and go, a piece of paper and pen and writing, oh, these are my goals. Then you put it down. It's the ability to set the goals, to manage, to check how well you're performing in relation to the goals you set. I personally love goal setting, especially if I achieve it. And it's always good to start off with a small set of goals so that when you achieve it, you're motivated for the next one. But the first one on my list is goal setting. So I've got a question to ask you at the end of this regarding goal setting. So we'll come back to it again. So the second one, somebody mentioned this, decision making. Oh, goodness. Have you ever been led by somebody that couldn't make a decision? It will be so frustrating. It will be so, and people expect as a leader to be able to make decisions. Even when you're in front of a client will often put you in a position whereby you've got to decide, do you go left, do you go right? And they're not necessarily looking for the right answer. They just need somebody to make a decision on which direction to go. So the ability to be decisive is so critical when it comes to leadership. And let me tell you this, leadership is not always about making the right decisions. Because often you will learn a lot when you make wrong decisions. But it's having the wisdom to realize, okay, I've made a wrong decision. How then do we correct it? Because you will learn by your decision making. But if you're afraid to make decisions, or you avoid making decisions, or want to run away from making decisions, then the likelihood is whatever it is you're doing, the chances of success will be very, very minimal. Clients and employees thrive when they've got a decision maker that is in front of them. You know, people like to know where you stand on something. So a must-have skill, and somebody mentioned it earlier on, decision making. The third one, problem solving skills. I always look at people, and some people, and I'm going to talk about maybe this towards the end of it, but some people, when they encounter a problem, they're fine when life is good, when everything comes together as planned, but they go into panic mode when a situation arises that they don't have the solution, the immediate solutions for. And as a leader, your clients, anybody you work with, will always look to you to solve that problem. And there's certain principles when it comes to problem solving. One of the first things is you identify what the problem is. You cannot begin to solve a problem if you don't know what the problem is. If you cannot name the problem, then you've got issues. The first thing you've got to be able to do is identify what the problem is. Then what are the possible solutions? I tend to just write, what are all the possible solutions that it could be, whether they're crazy or not, put them all down. Then I start to eliminate my options. Nope, you don't work because of X. Nope, you don't work because of Y. You evaluate the options. Then you choose and you take action. But problem-solving skills is critical to anybody that's going to lead. I've got two more. Communication. Somebody mentioned this earlier on. You cannot be an effective leader if you're not a good communicator. People need to know where you're taking them, what you stand for, what it is you expect of them, what it is that they can expect from you. You know, clients will often want to know, you know, what it is, you know, and one of the things I have to sometimes do as a business coach is do a scope of works. And I have to spell out exactly what it is I'm going to do for the client. And the client has to be able to see it to justify how much it is they're going to pay you. And you've got to be able to tell them, this is what I expect you to walk away from. It's not a guarantee, but your ability to communicate what it is that you're trying to achieve with them will hugely determine your level of success. People love leaders who communicate. The worst kind of leaders are the silent leaders, because you don't know what they think. And they may be good at their job. And just because you're good at your job doesn't necessarily make you a leader. A leader is somebody that embodies a number of skills that can lead people or the clients to achieve a specific goal. Okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to be on here for too long. Last one. And somebody mentioned negotiations. I've sort of like put this under building relationships. As a leader, you've got to be able to build relationships. If you don't like people, then leadership is not for you. As a leader, you've got to be able to build and nurture relationships. The people and negotiations is, and a huge part of my working life has been a negotiator. And being a negotiator is such an amazing, goodness me, I love that aspect of my life, because you are not an enemy to anyone, you are a friend to everybody, and your goal is to achieve an outcome that works for everyone. And you can only do that if you can build relationships. If everywhere you go, you end relationships, then you'll never be a good leader. You need to be able to walk away from the table, but leave the door open. Leave the door open so if they change their mind, they can come back in. And many times I've said it, I've gone, well, let's leave it for now. If we change our minds or you change your mind, pick up the phone, call me, and we'll try and see how we can get back. And time after time after time, people have always come back to the table. So I've listed these as, for me, the 5 top must-have skills any leader should have: goal setting, making decisions, problem solving, communication, and building relationship. Okay, that brings me to the end of my presentation. But before we finish, I have a short quiz for you. It's not really a quiz. I just really want to find out how you rate yourself. I need you to, if you don't have a pen and paper, please grab one. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make note of what score you give yourself. And you can score yourself 1 to 5. And the questions are all about whether you agree or disagree. So 1 is strongly disagree, 2 moderately disagree, 3 you're neither, 4 or against, 4 moderately agree, or 5 strongly agree. I'm trying to, okay, cool. So let's get to the first one. So the first one is goal setting. Sorry, let me get this down. Okay, cool. So the first one is goal setting. The question is, or the statement is, I am very capable in setting goals. How would you rate yourself? Do you strongly disagree with that? That means you are not capable of setting goals? Or do you strongly agree with the statement, which means you're very capable in setting goals? So make a note of your answer. 1 to 5. The next one, decision making. The statement is, I can confidently make and take difficult decisions. So you can confidently make and take difficult decisions. Do you strongly disagree with that statement, or do you strongly agree with it? 1 to 5 with regards to difficult decisions. The third one is on problem solving. Now, I remain calm and can think outside the box when faced with problems. So the key thing is, I remain calm and you can think outside the box when faced with problems. Do you strongly agree or do you strongly disagree? Nobody should please put 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, neither agree or disagree. Be on one side of the fence. Okay. So number 4, communication. I consider myself a great communicator? I consider myself a great communicator. And don't just say on one-on-one basis. It could be one-on-one, group, whatever, but you consider yourself a good communicator. Do you strongly disagree or do you strongly agree? Okay, and the last one. I love meeting new people and building lasting relationships. Do you strongly disagree or do you strongly agree? I love meeting new people and building lasting relationships. Okay. Cool. Okay, so 3 points for the coaching aspect. We don't have to stick to this, but I always do this. 1, discuss the areas that we've just scored ourselves where we got a 4 or 5, which is moderately agree or strongly agree, why you rate yourself so highly. So we're interested to know why you rate yourself so highly in any of those areas. 2, the areas in which you scored 1, what do you think are the challenges you have in those areas? So 1 is how you rate yourself highly. Second one is the areas you rate yourself quite poorly in. And the third one is how can you develop your leadership skills as a coach? I'm going to stop sharing.